in Judge Arthur Engoron.
I had one last thing to say about tools. I get a lot of what
Listen
I
to
do
him
involves
potch.
motions. These summary judgment motions I mentioned. And all right, am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee,
But
it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And I have tools. Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case. Well, is it just like another case? What if the defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater? Well, that's an extreme example. That wouldn't distinguish most cases, but there are other facts that do. Maybe the education of somebody who supposedly entered into a contract would decide whether the contract was binding. I have a tool that I'll call a tool called estoppel. Somebody makes an argument and I say, you can't make that argument. You made a different argument 3 months ago in this case, or even in another case. So I wish you all luck. I'll stand here or around afterwards for questions. And again, thanks to the administration for having me.
Such an intellectual. He is the Leonardo da Vinci of our era. I want to play it again, and I want to highlight things that drive me absolutely nuts. Now, I know I accuse Hakeem Jeffries of talking with his hands, and people can say, Viva, hashtag confession through projection. I hate hearing the noises in someone's mouth when they talk. Listen to this.
I had one last thing to say about tools. I get a lot of what I do involves motions. These summary judgment motions I mentioned. And all right, am I following
the law or am I making the law? That's the question every judge should be asking.
I'm following law.
Okay, so I'll follow the law. I'm impartial.
Referee,
but
it's hard to factor out my own emotions.
I think I hear people laughing in the crowd.
I have tools. Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case.
I've talked about this
many
times.
Just like another case?
And I'm also killing some
defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater.
Link to Rumble.
Well, that's an extreme example. That wouldn't distinguish most cases, but there are other facts that do. Maybe the education of somebody who supposedly entered into a contract would
pretty nebulous.
Decide whether the contract was binding.
Pretty nebulous
a tool that I'll call
concept in law.
What I'll call a tool called estoppel.
Estoppel.
Somebody makes an argument and I say, you can't make that argument. You made a different argument 3 months ago in this case, or even in another case.
In other words, he's got tools to do whatever the hell he wants. He's supposed to be objective and impartial, but am I following the law or am I making the law? Good evening, everybody. That's Judge Arthur Engoron. You're going to be reintroduced to him tonight because he issued another ruling in one of the Trump cases, or I guess in the Trump case, in which we'll call him New York nipple judge Engoron is judge. I hate hearing the insides of someone's mouth. And some of these mics, in fairness to him, they're so sensitive, they pick up on it's like ASMR. I'm going to look to see that we're live across all platforms. We should be live on 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms. I'm seeing locals in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure before we get too far into this stream. Are we live across the interwebs? We should be live on, for the time being, YouTube, Twitter, vivabarneslaw.locals.com, and Rumble. I think my internet is so bad, but you can count small blessings, everybody. This is the last night in Commie Canada behind the Iron Rainbow, the Maple Gulag. So internet should be better as of tomorrow when I'm going to be on the road back to the free state of Florida. Let me see here. It says stream will start soon. I did this through Rumble Studio. 1, 2. It says there's 644 people here. We've got 1, 2. It says we're live on all. Let me see something here. Okay, so it doesn't look like we're live on locals, vivabarneslaw.locals.com, which is unacceptable. I'm using Rumble Studio, and it should be on all people, you are not being stood up in locals. I'm just trying to think of what I'm gonna have to do in order to make this work. Stream will start soon. Let me just see what the problem is. I'm in Rumble Studio and it's here. This is very, very irritating because I can see it right here. I'm clicking on the link and it says stream will start soon. I don't know how to fix this. Let me see something here. I'm going to go back, and this is going to take a few minutes now. Just so everybody knows, I did not forget locals. I set it up through Rumble Studio, and I clicked all 4, and I see the icon in Rumble Studio, but it's not playing for some reason, so I'm just going to see if I can... I'm going to have to kill the whole stream and start it again, is what's going to have to happen. Is there a way to... Well, guys, I think I'm going to have to kill the entire stream and just start this again and go through a different platform. Okay, I'm going to go into Studio and look here for 1 second and see what the deal is. All right, well, I think we're going to have to kill the entire stream and start again. It's going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to get this thing to start it again. Very, very irritating. Okay, guys, everybody, my apologies. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to start it, so stay tuned for the link. I don't know what the problem is, and I can't seem to fix it here. So give me 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll be right back.